Good morning, student of class 8. Today I will teach you English literature. In English literature, there is a poem, Sympathy, that is composed by Paul Laurence Dunbar. Sympathy. Okay? So read and enjoy this chapter. Read this chapter, understand, then next. Now I am going to read. Listen carefully. I know what the caged bird feels, alas, when the sun is bright on the upland slopes, when the wind steers soft through the springing grass, and the river flows like a stream of glass. So, this poem, Sympathy, that is written by Paul Laurence Dunbar, who was an African American poet. African American, okay. And now he was thinking, like the previous chapter you have studied about Martin Luther King Jr. Okay, so here also what he was thinking also in the clutches of slavery. So he was means poet himself was thinking that he was caged like the bird. So this is the reason. Here he has written means this poem Sympathy, that the poet shows or expresses his sympathy on which thing? On the bird. Now I know what the caged bird feels when the sun is bright on the upland slopes, when the wind steers soft through the up springing grass. Now I know, the poet says, I know that. Why the caged bird feels sad? Why? What is the reason? I know. I know means he said, I know. What is the reason? Because the bird was trying to get its freedom. This is the reason. And outside the sun is rising. The sun is totally bright on the hills, and the wind steers, and outside on there is a wind is blowing outside on the grass and trees, plants, etc. And outside the river flows like a stream of glass, and the river is flowing like how? Like a stream of glass, means the river is shining so brightly. But I know why the caged bird feels, alas. I know, he said, I know that this caged bird is feeling very sad. Now, when the first bird sings and the first bird opes and the faint perfume from its alic steals, I know what the caged bird feels. Now, outside, now the birds are singing. Suppose that outside birds are there, then the birds are going to get its food and means other things. But this time this bird is now caged, and not only this time singing a sad song, and now just trying to think about what is the scene of outside. And now he said, the poet said, I know what the caged bird feels. Now he said, I know, the poet said, I know that why, what is the reason that the caged bird said, I know. I know that what the caged bird feels. I know why the caged bird beats his wings till its blood is red on the cruel bars, for he must fly back to his perch and cling when he fain would be on the bow a swing. I know. Now in the third para the poet said, I know why the caged bird. Actually, bird is means in prison, caged bird, and this time the birds are trying to get its free. This is the reason the birds are flapping his wing, and actually the birds knows whenever he was flapping his wings, there are it's hitting to the bar. Bar means, understand, the iron rod means, like, okay, bar, and there are some blood, but still the birds are trying its best to get out of the cage, and he was trying to fly over and over wherever he was trying to think to go, but it's not possible because the bird are in caged, and a pain still throbs in his old scars, and the pulse again with a near sting. I know why he beats his wings, and this time the bird is very sad, and just beating his wings, and there is a beating of means this one iron bars, okay, but it's impossible to get freedom. Okay, the birds beating his wings. And next, I know why the cage bird sing ah me when his wing is bruised and his bosom sore, and he beats his bars and he would be free. And now I know. Now again the poet said, I know why this cage bird sing. What the birds is singing very sad song. And now he said, I am showing very, I am, now the poet also said, I am feeling very painful of the situation of the bird, but I cannot do, because actually I have already told you, means the poet was comparing himself, like he was in prison, like the bird. And now the bird, his wings is when the bird is trying to flap his wings hard and hard, then what, his wings is totally bruised, it may hurt himself. But he beats his bars and he would be free. But still, the bird is trying his best to get out of this cage. But it is not a carol of joy or glee, but a prayer that he sent from his heart's deep core, but a plea that upward to heaven he, he flings. I know why the cage bird sings. Now, it's not a carol of joy or glee, but a prayer that he sent from his heart's deep core. Now, here the poet has said it's not a carol. Carol means any of like any religious song. Okay, it's not any religious song of sadness or joy, but it is a prayer. Now the bird is praying for from the deep of its heart, to get what, to get freedom. And that upward to heaven he flings. I know why the cage bird sings. But upward to heavens he flings whatever he was trying to flap his wings to get its freedom, and that was that actually feelings is coming from the heart of the bird. Now last line, I know why the cage bird sings. Now here what he said, the poet again said, I know what is the reason that this cage bird totally sings. What sings? I know that, and why he said, I know that, and what he feels, that I know that. Okay, this is the explanation of this poem, Sympathy. Paul Lawrence Dunbar. Now, next page. Here, some words are there. You have to note it down. Okay, today you have to complete it in fair copy. Now, read and understand. Take the correct option. I know what the cage bird sing, alas. This line conveys the poet's what? There are three options. First, knowledge about birds. Second, sorrow and grief at the plight of the cage bird. Third, liking for songs of cage bird. Think about, then ticked. Now, second, the first stanza depict the winter season, summer season, spring season. That you have to think about. By the para, it's very clear. Now, exercise B. Answer the following questions. Okay, this one I will give you in PDF form. Today you have to complete it. Now, exercise C. Poet often use various figure of speech to convey some meanings or to heighten the effect while expressing thoughts and ideas. A simile is used to compare two dissimilar things having some similarity, which is brought out by using words such as like, as, or then. Find out the simile used in the first stanza and explain. Okay, here it's very easy that you have to find out the lines which expressing simile. Simile means in any word for comparison, as, like, or than is used. As, like, and then. Okay, think about and then just search it. Alteration. Alteration is the repetition of the same letter or sound at the beginning of the words that are adjacent or closely connected. Example, like with a wish the woman went. Here, repetition alphabet, what is sound is W. Okay. Find examples of alteration and use in the first stanza. Here you have to find it out. Okay. And now third, a metaphor is a comparison A metaphor is a comparison of unlike things having some similarity which is pointed out using without using the words. Metaphor is a opposite of simile. Comparison will be, but words like, as, then, not used. That you have to find it out the line. You have to note it down. Okay. Now next exercise D. Give antonyms of the following words: bright, soft, first, cruel, old, and free. It's very easy. Here, gap, write down. And now exercise E and F. Imagine. Imagine a beautiful cage bird is gifted to you by someone close. What would be your first reaction and what would you decide about the bird? Later, look after it well or set it free. Why? Okay, just think about and now do this. Suppose you saw the cage bird the poet described in the poem. Write a diary entry and express your feeling about the bird in the cage. Also mention the condition of the bird in the cage. Very easy. Two section, writing section related to, and rest this one exercise D you have to do in book, and rest you have to means tick the correct option, do in book, rest you have to do in fair copy. Okay, thank you for today.